everyone, my name is Linda and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I talk all things minimalism, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my minimalistic skincare and makeup routine. This video is going to include two separate parts. First, I'm going to be sharing with you my morning routine, and then towards the end of this video, I'll be sharing my nighttime routine. So let's get started on my typical minimalistic morning routine. So first things first, before anything else, skincare routine always starts with clean skin. So typically, if it's a morning where I'm taking a shower, I would just wash my face in the shower. It's just a whole lot easier. I'm already in there. The water's already warm. But today, not a shower day, or at least not a morning shower day. So I'm just going to be washing my face in the sink. Now, for the sake of keeping my hair dry, especially because it's freshly dyed, so I don't want to get it wet, I'm just going to put a little headband on. Skincare is something that I've been doing a lot of research on for, I would say, the last year. When I came off hormonal birth control, I noticed a drastic change in my skin in terms of the acne that I was having. But one of the biggest things that I learned over the last year regarding skincare is that sometimes less is more. When we're using a lot of different products on our face, it can actually not have the benefits that we are hoping it will have. So not only have I minimalized my skincare routine and my makeup routine, but by having something simple that works for me, I've been able to really see drastic changes in my skin overall. If you're struggling with acne though, do know that different products will be needed for different types of acne. And there did come a point late in last year that I did sit down with my doctor just to kind of go over some of the skincare challenges that I was having. And I was prescribed an acne medication. And while it's not typical skincare or something that anybody can just go and access, if you really struggle with your acne, I recommend sitting down with a professional to see if there's more above and beyond skincare that might be able to help. So first things first, in my morning skincare routine is a clean face. So let's start there. So I've been using the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser for quite some time now. I'm quite a big fan of this one because it's designed specifically for normal to oily skin. But a really big part of it was that it was non-irritant and non-drying, something that I really struggled with finding a skincare product because my skin, while it's not extremely sensitive, it's certainly more sensitive than maybe the normal. So I've been able to find that with this specific foaming facial cleanser, that I'm able to use it both day and night without having it dry out my skin or give me any other problems. Step 2 of my skincare routine is I usually use a treatment product. So like I mentioned, when my acne is really bad, I do have a prescription that I use. It is a benzoyl peroxide and antibiotic cream, but my face has been really good lately, so I'm not using that. And at the moment, I am using a glycolic acid and aloe. I really like this product because the glycolic acid really helps with a lot of the acne scarring that I have. Just from years and years of having acne, I've, just got some scars that are still taking their time healing. And this really just helps alleviate a lot of the appearance of scars over time. Not only that, but I find that just having like a little bit more than just face moisturizer or face wash and moisturizer kind of just like adds a little bit more pampering to the face routine. So I just put a couple drops on, just rub it in, give that a few moments to dry. While I let that dry, because obviously adding moisturizer right over that is not as efficient, I'm gonna take a few moments to curl my hair. While I do this, let's just chat about some of the journey I've had with my skin. Hormones are a really big player when it comes to things like acne. And especially as You know, as women, we have a lot more hormones that fluctuate throughout the course of the month. And it got to the point where I could notice drastic changes in my skin throughout my cycle. So going through my cycle, I would have like 1 week where my skin was like really good. And then I'd have 1 week where my skin was really bad. And then I would just have the other week where my skin was like, nothing's getting worse, but now it has to heal. So I really only loved and felt like confident in my skin for like a handful of days out of the month. And I realized how much skincare really played a role in like your confidence and wanting to, you know, get out and do things, or that feeling like, ugh, I have to put a full face of makeup on to record or to go out or do a meeting. Even in the world of Zoom, there are days where I would like go on Zoom and then before the meeting started, I'd run to the bathroom to like add more makeup because things were visible with the lighting. So if you're struggling with your skin, you know, I definitely recommend taking the time and investing the time or money into sitting down with a professional, whether it be a doctor or a dermatologist, to really just get to the root of the problem so that you can feel good in your skin. Especially if acne is something that really bothers you. But there was another thing that I really noticed as well, is that first off, what works for one person doesn't work for everyone. So while I'm going through what I use today, know that this is what works for my skin type. And just because it works for me doesn't mean it won't work for you, but hopefully at least some of these brands, like CeraVe is a really great one, they have a lot of different lines for a lot of different skincares. So you can maybe do some research on these brands to figure out if they are the ones that will work best for you. All right, I'm not quite done my hair, but I want to get the lotion on so that it has time to dry before I move on to makeup. So we will do that. Hair out of the way. Let's talk about moisturizer. So for moisturizer, I use the CeraVe moisturizing lotion. I had originally come across this lotion in particular because I was struggling with very mild eczema. It was like just bad enough that it was driving me crazy, and so many different lotions just were not working. I'd done some research on eczema. A big part of it that they recommended in terms of like components in a moisturizer was niacinamide, because niacinamide really helps like keep the hydration in the skin. And I bought this. It was a huge help to my eczema, and I now not only use it for my skin, have no eczema, but I actually just use it as a general moisturizer for my face as well. This one is for normal to dry skin, helps restore the protective skin barrier, because it's not specifically designed for face, but I still like it. And I like that I can have one product that I can use for everything. When we're talking about like skin moisturizers, don't forget to get your neck, really important. Moisturizers was something that I wasn't using on my face at all. I just had this idea that because my skin was super oily, that it clearly didn't need a moisturizer. It was already over moisturized and I didn't want to add, add to the oil that I was feeling on my face. But that's actually not true. Your skin produces oils because it's extra dry, and it's extra dry because I wasn't moisturizing. So not only, there's certainly an adjustment period, but I noticed a drastic increase in my skin and how it felt when I started moisturizing, not just because it stopped producing as much oil, like I certainly have oily skin, but the acne and the acne that was healing started to just heal that much faster. Another thing that I also noticed during my journey of finding clear skin was that there's a lot of different companies out there that are available for you to try. And Some of them are really expensive, and if you use a really expensive skincare routine or brand, that's really great. But I do want to emphasize that you don't need to spend a whole lot of money to have beautiful skin. You don't need to feel like it's only going to happen if you use these $300 skincare lotion regimens. It truly isn't necessary. If you are drinking a lot of water, eating good food, and using a pretty minimal face regime, something that just doesn't have a lot of harsh chemicals in it, and that is maybe, not got crazy scents, or like, how some brands just have those excess claims to fame. You don't need any of that stuff. Oftentimes, if your face isn't healing directly related to like a good skincare routine, it probably has more to do with something else than it does with the products that you're using. And that's why I really recommend that you sit down with a professional if your skin really is problematic. All right, so that feels pretty clean. The last thing that's part of my morning skincare routine is vitamin D. Now, I can't remember if vitamin D actually has anything good skin related, but I live in Canada, and in Canada we drastically lack vitamin D because it's too cold to go outside and be anywhere near the sun. So vitamin D, I get that in my morning skincare routine, and that way I remember to take it. So makeup was another area that a few years ago I made some really big changes on. I got into this cycle where I would put makeup on to hide the acne, and then the acne would get worse because of the makeup I was using. So then I'd have to wear more makeup to hide more acne that was being made worse by the makeup that I was wearing. And a number of years ago, I made a switch to an all-natural company, which if you've been following me on this channel for some time, you would be familiar with it. But I switched over to the Sweet Leilani line. They're a Canadian company based out of Vancouver. And the biggest thing I noticed with their product, and the reason I continue to use it to this day, was because I found that I would put my makeup on in the morning, and by the time I took my makeup off at night, my skin was never worse than when I put my makeup on. I also found that the product had options that were available to cover up the acne that I was struggling with. While I do still have some makeup left over from when my acne was really bad, I'm blessed that I haven't needed to use it as often anymore, and have now switched to mostly just in terms of like covering up and like evening out my skin tone. I just use the Purely Tinted Moisturizer and CC Cream in the color Naked because I'm just that pale. But honestly, with this stuff, a little goes a long way. I basically just shake it up. You can see like just whatever's on the tip. I just put that onto my brush, dab all over, and then just do a really light coat to brush it in. As I brush it in, a few key tips that I can say relating to makeup. I'll never admit or claim to be a professional in terms of applying makeup. My makeup routine is absolutely as basic as it comes. You definitely want to avoid things that can make even the best makeup not as clean, such as dirty makeup brushes. You definitely want to make sure you wash your makeup brushes, and I say this out loud because I'm probably due for that, and I'm probably gonna wash these brushes right after this. But just as simple as that, blend everything in together, and then that really just helps even out my complexion. Now that I've made everything one-toned, just gonna put that into my hairline a little bit, I then need to go back and add more color so that I don't look so like pasty. So for that, I have the Sweet Leilani. I'll check on their website to see exactly what they call this stick. But I love this stick because it's multi-purpose. It allows me to, first off, I use it as just like a lid tint, which is really great because it gives me, just a little bit of like natural flush color. It also serves as a blush, which I just apply a little bit, a little bit color so I don't look so pasty. It's winter time and I haven't seen the sun in months. I'm just kidding, it's not that bad, but it's kind of that bad. If I'm finding it's a bit of an oilier day, I also have their pressed powder. I usually just add a little dab of that, put it on my T-zone, get rid of the shiny spots I do not want. And then I finish it all up with a little bit of mascara, which again, I use the Sweet Leilani one. I am almost out, which means I need to place an order. And then that's pretty much it. I finish it off with some Attitude lip balm, a little bit of gloss moisture, and that's it. That's my very simple skincare routine. This is definitely gonna do some editing. I have a meeting, I'm going out somewhere skin routine. On days where I'm exceptionally busy, I might do something as simple as just face wash, moisturizer, and then just do I'll just do the CC cream just to do a really quick brush, and then a mascara. So usually just these two. And some days, especially now that I found a skincare routine that really works for me, there are days now where I just don't put any makeup on at all. And that is very, very much okay. So I hope that this video was valuable in helping you just see what a very simple and quick skincare morning routine can be. And before we jump into and fast forward to my nighttime routine, if you're enjoying this video, go down below, hit the like button and subscribe. Because not only do I do minimalism for stuff like my beauty routine, but also minimalism in terms of the home. So if you like this video, I definitely think you'll enjoy some of the other ones. So I will see you in a handful of hours when it's time to take all of this off. All right, good evening and welcome to my evening beauty face skincare routine. I think one of the easiest acne things that can be pinned down and ruled out right away is going to bed with a face full of makeup. So I think no matter what, if you wear makeup at night, you absolutely have to wash it off. So when it comes to my evening routine, I always start with that, taking off my makeup. Now, I don't use makeup removing wipes. I don't use a specific product designed for taking makeup off. What I actually use is my face moisturizer. I used to have a couple face makeup removing wipes and I found they sucked or were just not really great. Yeah, I just started using my moisturizer and it's probably one of the best things I had. So I'll take it, focus mostly on my mascara, the stuff that's hard to remove. So I'll just rub this gently on my eyes. This is probably the part where I become a raccoon. And then I have these makeup removing towels. They're supposed to be the no water needed. And I'll just wipe off all the mascara. And it literally comes off so great. And then once I've at least taken my makeup off, my mascara, then I can go ahead and wash my face. And much like morning, nighttime, same thing. I use my foaming cleanser from CeraVe. So quick face wash. So, squeaky clean face. Now, when it comes to my nighttime moisturizer, I have a few different options that I'll swap between. My most common, I have the CeraVe Skin Rejuvenating Face Cream. This face cream really only differs from my regular moisturizer in the sense that it's just a lot thicker. So perfectly designed for nighttime. It's a little bit thicker. It's just like really, really nice. The other options, and the one I'm actually going to go with tonight, is I have a plant-based retinol. This retinol being a treatment, again, it just helps with like fine lines, wrinkles, all the signs of aging, things like the acne scarring. While speaking to a minimalist skincare routine, just a moisturizer would be plenty enough. Right now though, I am working on using the retinol for a few different reasons. First off, you can't use retinol when you're pregnant. So I'm using it to kind of use it up, because once we do land pregnant, I won't be able to use this and it will expire by the time I can. So I'll just be throwing it out. So using this one while I still can, but otherwise, and most of the time, I just use a regular night cream. So this, just needing a couple drops, not too much. Don't forget the neck. And I also put a little bit on my hands, just because our hands are exposed to so much and our hands get so dry. And if we think about the parts of our body where age shows, I feel like the neck is an area that's often missed, but also our hands. Putting a little bit of night cream or retinol on the back of the hands just to rejuvenate that skin it's just really nice. So that's it. That wraps up my evening skincare routine. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it made you realize that you don't need a whole lot of products to be able to take care of your skin, and that the basics of just a cleanser and a moisturizer is the strongest foundation to any skincare routine. So now that my skin is nice, the last and most important part of beautiful and healthy skin is a good night's sleep. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.